This one I did on blue to represent the sky behind him, and I like that, he stands out nicely. But I thought I'd do this one on green, just for a change, no other reason. You can do yours in whatever colour you want to do, any colour, make it orange, make it red, whatever. The colours, I've given this a quick coat of paint, because you don't need to see me do that. And I used some System 3 pale olive and some abstract cad yellow lemon.
I've asked the question if the sound's okay and I've not had any answers yet.
Well, let's just presume it is. I'll just carry on. They don't need to hear me anyway, they can just watch. So I'm going to pick these two colours out. I left sort of smear marks in it. I didn't mix the colour very well. I purposely left it like this so I'd get the vague illusion of grass or grasses. But we'll use these two colours and we'll put some out on the palette. Some of the pale olive, some of the lemon, cad lemon. And we're going to use a tool that you may or may not have seen me use before. I have used it a lot, well, pretty much really. And it's this. It comes in the children's craft aisle of supermarkets over here. I haven't actually seen it in any of the Hobbycraft or the Range or anywhere. I got mine from Sainsbury's, and they come in a pack of 3 sizes. This is the little one. There's one in the middle, and then this size. And they're about £1 for 3, so they're not in any way expensive. But they are well, I call them moon makers, because when I do Starry Nights, I make my moon in white. And I don't know, call it moon maker, and it's just sort of stuck. So what you need to do is take your water, and you need to get this wet. You need to get the sponge wet through. Like you would if you're having a shower or whatever, you get the sponge wet before you put the soap on. Same principle. So that's really, really sopping wet now. So squeeze out what you can, and put it into a towel and wring it for its life. So it should be damp, but damp uniformly around the sponge. So we don't really want to start with the dark green. I don't think it'll show up very well. So we'll make a mix. I'm just pulling a bit out and circling it round, and then I'm going to pull a bit out of the lemon. Do the same thing, circle it round and round and round until this looks like that uniformly. Well, it's got a gap there, so
I'll just see whether we've been streamed to the pro before we get to
okay.
Into it. Yeah, seems to be on the.
It's on the Fairy Sheet Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right then. So that's uniformly wet. So place it on, gentle pressure, turn it to the left and the right, being careful not to move it too much. Now that's too similar to the background, it's just not showing up. So I'm just going to use pure yellow and see if we can get that to show up. Gentle pressure, twist it. No, I'm going to have to add some white to get a bit of life into these colours, I think. Which I feared I might have to, seeing as the background is actually a mixture of these colours. It does use quite a lot of paint, this, because a bit like when you're using a roller for rolling your balls, you actually have to sort of charge your roller first, and it takes loads of paint to do that. So I'll just take a little bit of that white, roll it round in the yellow that we've got, because we want a uniform colour over it. Yay, hooray. So it's up to you if you want to put these quite heavily all over your work, or just a few different colours, all the same. One thing I would say is, however, try and make them random if you can, because it looks awful if it's in, well, I think it doesn't look so nice if they're in very definite pattern, you might like that. And at the end of the day, it's your painting. So try and get some that are sort of overhanging the edge. And the hair's going to go down here, but we don't want an outline of bubbles, as I call them, around him, because that would look artificial. We need some sort of in behind him. So just sort of poking out from his ears and whatever. I'm not exactly certain where he goes. I haven't drawn him on, but he's down in this region. So that's probably enough of that colour. Where's random? There. Random's very hard to achieve. Right, so now I'm going to get some of this olive and some of the white. I'm not cleaning my my moon maker. You don't have to. It just all joins in with the mix, really. Just going to add a little bit more of that. That's very, very similar to the colour that we had. I've chosen some difficult colours here tonight. Make life awkward for myself. Possibly going yellow. This would be a good opportunity to use up your craft paints or paints that aren't golden, basically. Golden is just so wonderful for painting with.
Do you like the colour craft as well?
No, I'm fine with this thanks, because I've done it in that colour, so I kind of want to do it in the same colours. That's fine, that's much more yellow. You see a little bit of a difference there. It doesn't take long before you get a really, really interesting background. I'll put one down here. Not sure if that'll be behind the hair or not. Any room for any more anywhere? Let's put one up there overlapping that other one. Now let's add some green into that. See if we can get a slightly different green. That's nice and bright. You see, I'm not loading it up every time. As you get near the end, you have really got to sort of twist a bit more than you have to at the beginning. But I'm going to put slightly more of these on than I want in this colour. I'm going to use this as a background for a yellow. Now, yellow acrylic paint is, I'm sure you've heard me say it 100 times, it's transparent. It doesn't matter what it says, it's transparent. And so you have to give it some encouragement to be seen by putting white as an underlayer. Or you can, you can mix it with an opaque white if you want to, but you need to do something because on its own you won't see it. So I think we're kind of getting to the stage. Well, we've probably got enough on there, really. You can add more or less. If you buy a pack with the 3 sizes in, you can use all your different sizes. It's up to you. That's one of the things that you can really easily change, and it will change the whole picture. So I'm charging this up with yellow now, and then I'll go over some of the ones that I've just done in that very light colour, and hopefully I should get, there we are, nice yellow. But you wouldn't have been able to get that before without putting the lighter layer down first. It just wouldn't have worked at all. I'm going to go for this one probably. There's one down here. Maybe that one. So you can see we're getting quite a nice mixture there. Really, it's pleasing. I don't know whether to put pure white on. I'll charge it with this white that I've got left. But bear in mind that there's an awful lot of paint still in the Moon Maker, so I don't know how light it's going to be, but we'll see. Quite light. Certainly the lightest one that's on there, which is good. We've got a bit of few colours on there to play with. As I say, I'm not sure down here where the hair actually comes to. Oh, random's difficult. Okay, I think I'm about there. I could carry on and on and on. But that's for you. That's your decision. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. So that's me finished with that. Finished with these. I'm just going to clean that palette off so that I can use it for the painting of the hair. My palette, incidentally, in case you ever wondered, it's a couple of years ago now. Mr. Handyman saw this thing for sale in the local buy and sell on the local buy and sell page, and it was a roll of well, I call it a florist cellophane. Is that a fair description?
That's a reasonable description, because that's what it is.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay. And he said, "Oh, I've told this bloke that I'm going to have it." Well, what? Why? What do you want it for? Well, true Mr. Handyman style. You never know. Okay, so we had it, and it's been sitting in the back bedroom along with a million, trillion, zillion other things until recently when he said, "Oh, that cellophane that I got. So I think it would make a good palette." And it does. It's brilliant. Cost us £5 for a whole roll, and it's really wide. And we just cut pieces off and put them there, masking tape them down at the end of painting, the end of a day or whatever. Tear it up, put it in the fire. Job's a good one. Okay, so the next thing here is to make sure they are dry. So just excuse me a minute while I dry those. Hi Sharon, hi Susan. I think that was it. I don't think there's anybody else that says hi.
No. Georgia said hi.
Oh, Georgia, of course.
She has said that she can hear you now.
Well,
so
that's a blessed relief. Oh, no, maybe not. Who knows? Right, okay. So for those of you that have followed me, do follow me. Thank you very much for that. You will know what I'm using here. It is... I appreciate that there are people out there who might be watching it now, or who might be watching it on replay, and you've never seen me before, and you don't know how I go on with things. So for those people, I will explain this, and for the others who've heard this ad infinitum, I'm sorry. This tool that I'm going to use now is called Ceral Wax-Free Transfer Paper. It comes in a pack like this. You get 5 colours, blue, red, yellow, grey and white. And you use it to transfer an image that you have, for example, our hair here, onto a painting. Now, I'm aware that some of you feel that is a bit cheaty, that you should be able to draw your own things that you're going to paint. Why, is my question. Why do you feel that is cheating? This is about painting. It's not about drawing, and the two are very, very different things. I could draw long before I could paint. You're in control of a pencil or a pastel. Paint is different. It's a different thing. And that's what we're trying to get the hang of now. And so, why overcomplicate it by drawing your own thing? If you want to, it's great. But for those of us who don't feel that confident, we use transfer paper. So you put it down so as the sort of waxy side is down. Put it under where you want it to go. It fits just nicely with our hair here. And then you use a pencil or something sharp to draw around the image that you want, and then you're off. You're ready to paint. It does rub off afterwards with a plastic eraser, so don't worry about it being there forever. Ooh, there's my pencil. I know this hair pretty well by now. I've done them a few times. So there's one of his eyes there. That's the top of that. I'm going to follow him down and do his face, because he's just got a bit of dark under his face that makes it stand out. Or light, I can't remember. That sort of comes around to there. And his eye. His eye's fairly critical. That's a bit daft. Of course his eye's fairly critical. Yeah, it's light under his chin, isn't it?
Yep.
So if there's anything else that you want to mark in that you think is going to help you, for example, this sort of white bit that goes kind of around his eye, like that, that will be a help to you. There's a dark bit that comes in here. Just roughly draw it. There's a white bit here, sort of coming down his nose. There's a dark line in there, and there's a very dark bit here, which is kind of his nostril, I think. I think that's his nostril. Dark bit there. There's some circles, dots there where his whiskers come out of, but I think we'll be able to cope with just placing them in willy-nilly, as it were. So he's got a dark bit coming across his forehead. I mean, you don't need to be too particular, because I'm quite sure that all hairs look a bit different. Some animals, isn't there, that are identical to each other? I'm trying to think what they are now, actually.
I should check and get back to you on that one.
Thank you very much. So there's a sort of dark section here where his ear's turning sort of away. And then there's this section in the middle here that is that nice, lovely, really soft bit. Talking of lovely, really soft bits, Bobby's had his hair cut today, and he always looks gorgeous when he comes back. Looks like a really smart little boy. I'm pretty sure he's aware that it's happened as well, because he sort of walks a bit cockier. Okay, I think